Hi, my name is Cathy Ford. I am on the Cinema Committee here at ArtsQuest, and I've been on the committee for several years now. My 10th favorite movie is The Life of Pi, which was a movie that I know is based off a novel which I enjoyed, and I just found the way that Ang Lee brought it to life on the screen, that it was very powerful and moving, and appreciated it very much. So it's on my number 10. Number nine is Beast of the Southern Wild, and the reason that is because, again, this is another story about a young girl who is set in this environment, I believe in Louisiana, in challenging circumstances, and just the perseverance of this young girl, this character, as well as the acting, the writing was like poetry on screen. Just a beautiful film that I really think deserves to be in the top list for the decade. Number 8 is a documentary called 20 Feet from Stardom, and it's about singers, backup singers, who would accompany, of course, very famous singers such as the Rolling Stones, Sting, David Bowie, on stage in the music to really improve upon and emphasize a lot of their music. And it just shows over time how they were ignored, neglected, and how they persevered through, specifically Darlene Love, who made a lot of music, but Ronnie Spector took her from being on the music and dubbed her voice into another group. So it shows what took place back then. And this would be Miseducation of Cameron Post. It follows a young girl in high school in the 90s who is taken from her family and put into a place where they have conversion therapy for LGBT young people. And it follows that storyline. It was mentioned and received a Sundance Award a couple years ago. The direction, the acting, all is very, very well done. It's an action film called Inception, 2010. It has to be one of the best films for me because the storyline is great, the special effects are wonderful, and it just is another one of those twists and turns, action-packed, but a subject going from dreams, and you never knew it was going to happen, so that had to be on my list. Number 5, I just saw a few weeks ago, Parasite. That was a cinematographer's dream. Anyone who loves film, and I just love the acting, the story, which it really had me at the edge of my seat because I never knew it was going to happen. Moonlight. I thought the topic was pretty daring. The acting, the cinematography, the score all played to bring this story of a coming of age of a young African-American boy in through his adulthood, and just a beautiful story on screen. My next favorite film was Lady Bird. And what struck me with Lady Bird, the script was great, how natural it all seemed, and just a great film. Laurie Metcalf, I was just so impressed with her acting as a supporting actress. Number 2 is a film out of Iceland. I'm sure I was one of the few in this area who may have seen it, but it's called And Breathe Normally. If you have Netflix, you're in good fortune, you should watch it. But I saw it at an independent film festival in Provincetown, and it won Best Film there. It's about 2 women, adult women, whose paths cross, and it also involves one of the women's young son. It brings in all sorts of surprises, touching the human heart, and some of the finest film because it's a simple story of what happens when we think we're doing the right thing and maybe we don't, and we try to make amends on it. So my number one film I decided on was Carol, and although my top four at one point or another were my number one, once I really went back and rewatched some of them, Carol stood out for me. First of all, I was familiar with the story, and then when I heard about Todd Haynes being the director, I thought, let's see what he can do, and he made it just a beautiful film. The score, the direction. A lot of this film, because it was set in 1950s, where, you know, if you were gay or lesbian, you really weren't even able to express that, and you never knew who may or may not have been along with you. So the way he captured the silence, which spoke volumes, I thought was very impressive. In this film, although everyone had their own challenges and issues in life that they were facing, I felt compassion for all of them, and it was a well done, a well acted film. So Carol would be my number one choice.